The NFL draft is over. Most free agents have landed in their landing spot for the year. Bestball Mania is live on Underdog, and now, today, they drop a puppy $5 for a chance to win $75,000. Sign me up for that one. We draft live next.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling. Cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then your talking don't matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling. Patent pockets. Take the dollar, dollar. Can a damn soul stop it?
Welcome in to the Rumbles of Red. Obviously, I got to get a little bit of dust kicked off here as I muted myself for the first time already. Look, we're now on Bite Size Sports. I know I took a little bit of a hiatus, but you kind of have to after a long, grueling season, NFL season. We're here every Friday during the NFL season talking DFS stuff. And now we're going to be here every other Friday talking best ball and doing live best ball drafts right here. I'm hoping you all can jump into some of these drafts with me. Love to see your names out there and take advantage of me. I'm just a noob trying to draft and stream and talk to you all in the chat. So I've got a lot going on my end. I can't be as focused with these drafts. So I hope you come and take advantage of me here on this Cinco de Drinko. Hopefully you're having a great night. Thank you for being here. Hit that like button and subscribe to the Bite Size channel. We're nearly 500 subscribers. So we're getting so close to that coveted 500, and we'll just continue to grow. We've got live shows nearly every night. We've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now I'll be here on Fridays, every other Friday. So check us out. Subscribe to the Bite Size Sports channel. NFL game or NFL show on Tuesday nights, NBA on Thursday nights. And some of our friends are actually going live tonight on Bite Size Dweeb, talking some Star Wars, kind of just doing a little bit of extra stuff, some auxiliary stuff, nerding out a little bit over there. I'll make sure to drop the link in the chat later on in the evening. A little bit of housekeeping. Again, Rumbles of Red every other night here, or every other Friday night. I'm sure as we get closer to the season, we will definitely be drafting even more. So I'll make sure I get on for that. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Let's do this. If you haven't already, go ahead and get signed up for Underdog and use my promo code Trevor Steinbacher. They'll match your deposit up to $100. So go ahead and get signed up now. So when I jump in this draft here in about 3 to 5 minutes, you'll be ready to rock and roll. You'll be able to jump in with us. Again, give you a little time here. Promo code Trevor Steinbacher. I will also throw the link in the chat for you all, just in case you want a quicker way to get there. Please support me and all my doings by using my promo code. I know there's plenty of promo codes to use, but if you can use mine, I would appreciate it. It just helps me out and puts a little money in the account so we can draft even more, right? That's what we're here to do, have a little fun. If you are with us tonight, please feel free to jump in the chat all night long. I love interacting with you all. I'm going to talk through my picks. Hopefully get to talk through some of your guys' picks as we go along. And before we jump into the draft itself, let's kind of talk through this. If you haven't been on Underdog yet, they've got Bestball Mania out, and they dropped a puppy this morning. Look, Bestball Mania, you're going to be able to draft in Bestball Mania all summer long. $25 entry, the largest payout to first place they've ever had. $3 million to first place. $3 million. Now, you got to be first place out of 677. And I think week 17 has 444. Yeah, so 444 in week 17 for that final round. So you got to beat out that many people just in 1 week to get to the $3 million. But That's what we're here for, right? We might as well take the shot, see what we can do. Again, $25 for that one. I'm not going to play Best Ball Mania for tonight. I will have plenty of teams in this contest tonight. We're going to draft the puppy. And so right here, it's $5. There's 111 entries, and first place takes home $75,000. A little bit lower. Obviously, it's only $5. There are a little bit less entries as well. I think last year they ended up doing what, 4? Take these. I think they did like 4 puppy contests last year, so not too bad. So we'll have plenty of opportunities here to take care of these $5 entries, but we're going to try to rip as many as we can. And tonight, we're going to rip one. We're going to rip one indeed. If you are here in the chat, let me know. Are you going to be drafting with us tonight? Let me know. Try to draft at least. Let me know. I'm about to jump into it. I'm not going to hide it from you because I welcome you to be in my draft with me. Want to make sure I give anybody a chance to get into Underdog if they haven't already. If you're trying to get into Underdog right now, let me know so I can make sure that we wait you out and try to get in this draft. But again, this will be my first best ball draft of the year. I've not done any at all. I have jumped. I've been watching a few, but I have not done any myself. So this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. Just a pretty standard 1 quarterback league. And if you're new to best ball, I guess I could explain that, why we wait. Okay, Lee's going to try. I hope to see you in there. That's going to be awesome. I will let you know for sure before I hit this enter button so we can kind of enter at the same time. If you've never done this before, when I enter, you enter, we all try to get into the same draft. The next 12 essentially gets into that draft. Sometimes you're the last one in a draft, and then you kind of end up not being able to draft with anybody else. Sometimes you're the first one, and you got to wait a little while. So I'll make sure I let you guys know when I'm going to jump in. If you never played best ball before, we're drafting 18 rounds, and it's a set it and forget it. You don't have to touch this team anymore. It'll play it out. It'll play the whole season out. Hopefully on week 17, you've got an opportunity to win a little cash. But yeah, you draft your team and hope for the best, and you don't have to do any managing of these teams. If you are in here, we are going to go ahead and hit the enter button. So let's go ahead and jump into this draft. Hope to see you all in there. Let's get after it. And it looks like there's 2. So that's good and bad, right? So good, it gives plenty of you opportunities to jump in. So now is the time to jump in. Could be bad because that might mean I have to fill a little time here, which is completely fine. That's what I do, is talk for a #living. Not really, but one day maybe, right? As we get in here, kind of just talking through some of these. Obviously, again, not really seeing the board. I'm a little surprised about Bijan. People are falling in love with this guy. Way up here to 6.8. I think Travis Kelce's a little high. I would assume between now and August 1st, Kelce's towards the back end of the first round, potentially even in the second round, as it seems like he is just about every single year. Bijan might be moving up a little bit. I think Jonathan Taylor will move up a lot. We'll see about that. I personally am a wide receiver guy. We'll see how this one goes. Might go 0 RB, kind of depends on where I land here. I got the 1-7. So I got the 1-7. Let's see. Anybody else in here with us tonight? Got the 1-7. I see Lee in here. All right. You got the 1-12. You got the 1-12. So that'll be fun. You get to kind of own the turn there. I like that I don't have there's no badges in here. So maybe that means it's going to be a little bit of a lighter crew, a little bit of a lighter draft room. That will be nice to start off for my first draft of the year with a little bit of a lighter draft here. All right, 20 seconds in until we are ready to go. I will show you the big board. Let's see. How does this look? Should I zoom in a little bit? I think that looks okay. I like that. You guys can see all 12 of us. If I need to drop this, I can, so you can kind of see a little bit more. But it's not too bad. So I don't mind it too bad. You get 4, you can see 4 rounds at once. So, all right, draft is off and running and very standard. I think Jefferson and Chase are going to be 1-2 all summer long. Maybe Christian McCaffrey starts to sneak up in there in the 1. If you remember last year, it was McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor that we talked about who's the 1, who's the 2. I kind of just sprinkled in a little bit of both of them as I went along. All right. It's my turn to pick in a dynasty rookie draft as well. So nice little juggling tonight. I will ignore that. Here I am, 1-7. It looks like Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown. I'm a little bit worried about Cooper Kupp coming off that injury still, so I'm definitely just going to go ahead and roll with ADP. Take Tyreek here. I love what the Miami offense is looking like. Tua is coming back this year. I'm a big fan of Devin A-Chain. I thought it was a Keeney, but man, everybody keeps saying A-Chain, so I guess it's A-Chain. Huge fan of the rookie running back there. They brought in a lot of speed, fits that offense, built on speed, right? So I like what they're doing down there, and they had a great season last year. Obviously, Tua getting hurt kind of derailed it. But if you think back, they had some huge games, and that's what we're looking for in best ball. Some of those spike weeks, big 30-point games from Tyreek. So I don't mind taking him here to start the draft. So those audio listeners, first round, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, 3, Bijan up to 4. This is kind of what I talked about at the very beginning, right? I think Bijan's going to keep moving up. I would not be taking Bijan at 4, but JCC 3003 did. Steph Diggs at 5, Kelsey at 6. I take Tyreek Hill at 7, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Taylor, and now Lee, you are on the clock with 2 picks. Let's see where you go here. Let's see. Looks like Amon-Ra St. Brown for the first one. I like that. And when you're on the – so let's see. ASB, ADP picks 16. You take him at pick 12. But when you're on the turn, you know you're not going to get that guy. So just go get your guy. Go get your guy right now. Who are you taking here second? You're going to double tap the wide receiver. You're going to take one of these quarterbacks. These quarterbacks, guys, they're going so early. There he is. Patrick Mahomes at the 201. I can't believe it. Honestly, I've been seeing these quarterbacks go so early this year. What is it just because it's early in the offseason? Like, what are we doing? These are the same quarterbacks that we talked about last year. Don't take them in the 3rd round. Don't take them in the 4th. You can get Jalen Hurts in the 6th. And here we are not taking them in the 4th round. We're taking them in the 2nd round. Patrick Mahomes goes early. No way am I going to be touching a quarterback here. I'd rather wait. I mean, I can get maybe a Tua stack later on. Daniel Jones he uses his legs. I like some of the rookies. Anthony Richardson, going to get him really late. I don't mind just taking a stabs at him. So no thank you on the quarterbacks for me. Austin Eckler, Garrett Wilson, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts goes next. Yeah. I'm not going to so, man, I kind of want – I tell you what, if it wasn't Devontae Adams, I would have definitely went ahead and double-tapped the Miami wide receivers and taken Jalen Waddle here. Double stack Tua early and often. I mean, I'm not going to be opposed to that. But when Devontae Adams is sitting there, that's a little odd. Almost, middle of round 2. This guy is still an elite wide receiver, one of the best in the league. Yes, I get it. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not Derek Carr this year. But I'm not worried about that. Jimmy Garoppolo has had plenty of fantasy success with his pass catchers, Debo, George Kittle in the past. You're not really running away from a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to get the ball in Devontae's hands. So I'll happily take him here. At pick 18, Nick Chubb goes. Jalen Waddle at 20. The 3rd quarterback goes here in the 2nd round, Josh Allen at 21. Man, I can't believe it. Breece Hall fallen quite a ways. I think this is another guy who's going to rise a lot. If I can get him here to the back end of the second round, I like. If he comes out in July, you start to hear positive reports, he's going to really move up into probably the back end of the first round. He is a stud. He looked great last year. They picked up a guy in the, sixth, seventh round, another running back. So maybe they're not quite, hearing positive news about Breece Hall, but I'm not worried about his usage here. If he's going to be healthy, he's going to be a stud. Running backs galore here at the end of the second round. Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs. Starting the third round, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith. Lee, how do you feel about your first two picks? Are you still here with me in the chat? Juice put on his big boy pants tonight, fellas. Juice put on his big boy pants. Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, and Derrick Henry to start the Justin Fields. Man, no thank you. I'm in I think I'm going to take Ramondre. It's not necessarily a hero RB. I mean, I can take one RB in the first 3 rounds. I'm okay with that. Don't want to. I could go 0 and go with Mark Andrews, who I think will be dominant with Lamar Jackson coming back there in Baltimore. I think they're going to have definitely a different offense. They got that guy from Georgia, the offense coordinator from Georgia there, who I believe will instill some passing volume into Lamar's game a little bit more, maybe getting back to MVP Lamar. We'll see how that all plays out. But I do think that getting that new offensive coordinator will help Lamar and give him more passing, which makes me like Mark Andrews quite a bit. But I love me some Ramondre Stevenson. He I would say outlasts, survives. I don't know. He's a veteran who was not affected by free agency or the draft in a negative way. The Patriots did not go get another running back to come in and fill Damian Harris's spot. So for me, Stevenson to the moon, hopefully. But get him here as my anchor RB, essentially. I'm going to like that quite a bit. I probably won't really be touching RB again. At this point, I would say maybe around 8 or 9. I usually like to just load up on these wide receivers in best ball, wide receivers, tight ends, maybe get a quarterback in there somewhere. Where's Tua going? 87? 87, so maybe not. This guy's got Waddle. He's right in front of me, so I'm going to have to watch hockey because he's got Waddle. Although he's already taken Joe Burrow, I really would like to get Tua to stack up with Tyreek Hill here. We'll see where else we land. Mark Andrews almost fell to the back end of the first round for Lee. He does not. He takes Calvin Ridley. What is Calvin's ADP? Was it an auto draft? 36? Oh, he's right on, huh? I didn't realize he was being drafted that high. Do we believe in Calvin this year? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think Calvin's going to come back after missing an entire year and be the same Calvin? He doesn't miss it for injury, so that has, that's obviously playing a part of this. But do you think he comes back and can he be the same Calvin Ridley? Lee also takes Jahmyr Gibbs. Justin Fields goes off the board. Najee Harris. What are we looking at? Oh, I got my eye on somebody here. I don't like Amari Cooper here. I don't like DeAndre Hopkins here. I'm not a big fan of Kenneth Walker this early. Not after Seattle drafts a running back there in the third round, I think it was. So I'm not really sure if I like that as well. DJ Moore going to Chicago, playing with Justin Fields for the first time. I like that for him, but I'm going to take a guy who really blossom at the end of last year. Once he was traded to Minnesota, Minnesota brings in Jordan Addison, a guy I really like. I think he'll be a solid addition to that Minnesota offense. But TJ Hawkinson is the number 2 pass catcher behind Justin Jefferson. He's definitely still going to be the number 1. It's going to take Addison a little bit of time to adapt to the NFL. So I'm going to definitely take a guy like TJ Hawkinson, get my tight end spot settled. I'm probably already going to be chasing quarterback a little bit, just the way I have this set up. So I might need to take a third quarterback late. So I don't want to set myself up to have to take a third tight end. Now I'm set. I love my tight end. I could take a second tight end later on, have myself a little 3 quarterback, 2 tight end, maybe 2 quarterback, 2 tight end. But I don't need a third tight end since I took TJ Hawkinson so early. So that's why I want to go to a guy like that there. DJ Moore, George Kittle, Keenan Allen, Christian Watson, and Mike Williams all go. So a run of wide receivers. Kind of feels like a draft of runs, right? We get 4 to 5 running backs in a row, then 4 to 5 wide receivers in a row. So that's interesting. Christian Watson, Drake London, these second-year wide receivers are going off the board here. Calvin will be better at T-Law. Yeah, I agree. I think Calvin's in a really good spot there in Jacksonville and with Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. Like, we haven't really seen anyone take an entire year off in the NFL and then come back and be super successful. That's my only worry about Calvin Ridley right now. It's not that I don't think he has the talent. I loved Calvin Ridley in Atlanta. I was stunned when he got suspended for the year, and now there's other guys doing the same thing, which is kind of annoying. Like, just stop betting. You're a pro NFL player. Let's see. Well, this is a kind of a weird spot. I think I'm going to take Michael Pittman. Christian Kirk's fine. But give me some Michael Pittman with Anthony Richardson, Let's see how that works out. You know what I don't like yet is we don't know week 17. I usually try to correlate all this stuff, correlate my teams and who they're playing, and kind of it makes it easier to break some of these ties. But right now, it's all right. I'm going early. I'll correlate a little bit later on in the draft as I build around this anchor RB around Ramondre Stevenson. Back to your comment here, Tyler. Yeah, I do think he'll have an opportunity to have success. Again, I'm just a little bit worried about him coming off and being gone for an entire year. That's really all I'm worried about here. All right, where are we at here? Christian Kirk goes next. He was the other guy I was going to take, but Pittman's fine. Chris Godwin goes. What do we think about Tampa Bay? Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys still going to go after these Tampa Bay guys, or are you just going to try to pass on them as much as possible? Let me know. Tell me in the chat. Do you think Baker Mayfield can make these guys fantasy relevant? Is Baker even going to be the quarterback? Maybe he's not going to be the quarterback. Kyle Trask is there. All right, so we talked about Calvin Ridley. Gambler could take T-Law here. Potentially, that'd be 2 quarterbacks in the first 60 picks. That's a lot of quarterback capital. We'll see where he goes. Right now, Lee's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Patrick Mahomes, Calvin Ridley, Jahmyr Gibbs, and he does stack up Calvin Ridley with Trevor Lawrence, 2 quarterbacks in the first 60 picks in the first 5 rounds. Bold strategy. Everybody's got their own strategy, though, right? Let's see if I can zoom out just a smidge. Give you a little bit more. Can you guys still see that on your end? I know it's a lot smaller, but just trying to give you guys an opportunity to see a little bit more. George Pickens George Pickens going here. Pass on the Bucks. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. Dynasty leagues, man. I got a couple Mike Evans teams. It's brutal. It's brutal. You can't move them right now. Nobody cares like to go out and get a guy like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. So to see Godwin up here in back into the 5th round, I'm not sure I'm really high on that at all. But I'm about up to pick here. None of these running backs. DeAndre Swift, new spot there in Philly. I'm going to take shots on these Philly running backs. DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, even Kenneth Gainwell. I'll take shots on these guys just because I do think that the Eagles will, utilize one more than the other. And also, all 3 of these guys have injury issues. So I will probably take some DeAndre Swift, not necessarily interested in him with this build, as I already have Ramondre. Kyle Pitts is still there. I would have liked that, but I already pulled the trigger on TJ Hawkinson. Mike Evans, who we talked about, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Lockett, Treylon Burks. There's plenty of goodness. I can't believe Kyle Pitts is there. He's just staring me in the eyes, telling me to pick him. I picked him too many times in my life. I'm not going down that hatchet again. I'm going to go ahead and take Brandon Ayuk here. There is a guy that I have on my radar, and I probably should have snagged him. I probably should have snagged him right there. We'll see. I like as soon as I said I'm going to take Brandon Ayuk, I was like, man, I should have taken him. Well, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I will get lucky. What do you guys think about this Seattle wide receiver room, right? DK Metcalf, I passed on him earlier for Ramondre Stevenson. Tyler Lockett right here in the 6th. That's not for me. That's definitely not for me. They brought in Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think that he's there to take over for Tyler Lockett, whether it's this year or next. But I'm not really a big fan of that. That's just not a pick that I'm super interested in. He's always been boomer bust, which is good for best ball, right? You want those spike weeks, and you're not having to pick and choose which weeks to start him. It's automatic, but those boom weeks have kind of dropped over the past 3 years, year over year, and I'm just not super into Tyler Lockett. Damn. Oh, man. I knew I should have taken him. The guy I was talking about was Jordan Addison. He would have gone perfectly with TJ Hawkinson. Could have stacked him up. Could have thrown Kirk Cousins and Atua in here. Man. I definitely should have taken him. And as soon as I saw him, I knew. I knew he wasn't coming back. I just missed him the first time around. Didn't realize he was that close until I said I was taking and hit the button, and I saw him there. And I'm like, oh, gosh, he's not coming back. That's okay. We'll see who goes here. I'm not gonna say who I'm gonna take because I don't want to give out too many secrets on the stream. What do you guys think about my team so far? Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Ramondre Stevenson, TJ Hawkinson at tight end, Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw Tua on here now. Stack him up with Tyreek Hill. I passed on a Jalen Waddle double stack earlier in the stream for a guy like, who did I take? Devontae. That's right. Yeah, I took Devontae right for him. So what do you guys think through 7 rounds? Let me know in the chat. Do you like it? Yes, no, maybe. And don't forget, if you want to draft with me, I will be on here every other Friday night. Fridays, 8:15. It's a best ball summer, y'all. Like, we're here. We are here, a best ball summer. We're going to love this. Had to start a little later tonight. Had the old school event for my kids' school. You always got that on a Friday night, but every other Friday night, 8:15 Central. Come right here and draft with me. Best Ball on Underdog. Most of the time, I'm going to try to draft as many $5 games, so as many puppies as I can. Obviously, it's a little easier on my bank account, a little easier on your bank account, but there will be weeks that we draft Best Ball Mania teams, right? We got to get a couple of those $25 teams in there. Got to throw a couple bullets at the $3 million prize. We don't want to ignore that. We don't want to ignore that. Kev in the chat here as he's getting ready for his own show. Thanks for joining us here. Pittman might have a slide with Downs and Indy now, though. And you're right, but I mean, I think Indianapolis has continued to chase a number 2 pass catcher, right? They just haven't really found. Paris Campbell's been there. He's been okay, but he's just never flourished into a solid, consistent pass catcher each and every week. Let me scroll this up here so you guys can see a little bit more. So I'm not really terribly worried about Downs taken away from Pittman. I'm super excited about Anthony Richardson, as I've spoken about many times, and hopefully him and Pittman can get to work early this offseason. You always get that rookie quarterback, rookie wide receiver, because they're going to rookie training camps together, those kind of things. So Downs, definitely a good flyer in a best ball style draft. So I'm not opposed to him as well. And maybe this is the one. Maybe I go Pittman and I take an Anthony Richardson later on and throw a Josh Downs at the end of it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. To end the 7th round, Dallas Goedert, David Montgomery, Deshaun Watson goes, Kadarius Toney, our Chiefs boy, and Evan Ingram. Lee on the turn, Jameson Williams, Isaiah Pacheco, Cortland Sutton, Darren Waller, Rashad White. I like that in the 8th round a lot. I'm on the clock. I haven't looked at who I'm taking. There is Anthony Richardson. Let's do it. I've talked about him. Let's do it. I keep mentioning him, right? I didn't realize his ADP was this high. I guess that's what you get when you haven't done any of these drafts yet. I'll take Anthony Richardson. Let's go. I love it. See, now I don't even feel bad that I didn't take Jordan Addison, so I don't have to take Kirk Cousins. I don't need to take another quarterback. I might throw a quarterback in at the end, but I'm feeling good about these quarterbacks. If Tua can stay healthy, obviously, that's always a problem, right? We always got to deal with that right now with his concussions. So far, I have Tua, Anthony Richardson, Ramondre Stevenson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, and Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver, with TJ Hawkinson at the tight end position. I liked Javonte there. He was probably the pick I was going to take before I realized that Anthony Richardson was so high. So I like Javonte there coming off of injury. Wow, Kamara way down here with that expectation he's going to be, obviously missing out 4 to 6 weeks with the legal issues. And then does he lose his job as New Orleans? What's rookie? I know they took a running back. Oh, Kendre Miller out of Texas A&M, right? So a little run on quarterbacks here. Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins to end the 8th round. Zach Charbonnet there in Seattle. This is why I wouldn't have taken Kenneth Walker as early as they did. That's an interesting take. I don't know why Seattle drafted a running back. Let me know in the chat, were you shocked that Seattle, of all teams, took Jackson Smith-Njigba, the wide receiver, when they had DK Metcalf in the 1st round? Obviously, he slides to 20, so maybe they're just like, I got you. And then they take the running back, Zach Charbonnet. Were you shocked? I mean, I was shocked that they went running back after the season that Kenneth Walker had. After the season Kenneth Walker had, and then they take Zach Charbonnet. Like, do they not trust Kenneth Walker? That's how I feel. Like, I feel like they don't trust him. Right? Damn, I really want an AJ Dillon there. It's so hard because I can't talk about. I don't want to talk about and tell you guys exactly who I want, and then I get sniped, and then I get stuck staring at Zach Charbonnet and Alvin Kamara and Jahan Dotson. I'm just gonna pass on running back again, and I'm gonna take Dotson. I think Dotson's geared up for a breakout season. I don't really care for these running backs. I don't mind, Rashad and Penny maybe taking a flyer on him, taking a flyer on the rookie Zach Charbonnet, potentially here, but just not really interested in any of those guys, over a breakout candidate like Jahan Dotson. I've got a 2-1-5-1 build going on. Yeah, 200 monster, but I mean, that's not necessarily what Pete Carroll wants to do, or that's not what he has done in the past, right? He hasn't been a guy who wants to play committee ball. He played Rashad Penny a ton, and then Rashad Penny gets hurt, and then Kenneth Walker's the guy. So that's what's, I think, most confusing to me right now. Is he isn't usually a guy that wants to run out of committee. Aaron Rodgers to the New York Football Jets. All right, so this is great. This is why I'm happy I took Dotson. Look at all the running backs on the board now. Look at all the running backs on the board. Khalil Herbert, the starting running back for Chicago, is down here at 113. Right? Zach Charbonnet was still on the board at 109. Alexander Madison has a chance to be the starter. What if Dalvin Cook gets traded or cut? Alexander Madison becomes a starter. His ADP skyrockets as soon as Dalvin Cook gets moved. Skyrockets, right? He's probably up in the 5th, 6th round, maybe, if Dalvin Cook gets moved. Rashad Penny in Philly now. So this is an area that I like the running backs. You have a lot of guys you can take shots on. They're not all going to pan out. We know that, but we can take some shots on them. This is just one of, I can't tell you how many times I'm going to draft. My wife might be watching. I don't want her to know. Right? But say you do 10 best ball drafts this summer. You got to take some shots on some of these running backs here in this range. So I really like where I'm sitting, and nobody's taking the running backs now. Nobody's taking the running backs. Lee takes Zach Charbonnet at 10.1. I like that a lot. The running back I'm going to take, a guy I talked about earlier in the stream, and he fits my Tua Tyreek Hill build, and that's Devin A-Chain. I don't know, guys. I feel like it needs to be a Kine. Does anybody? How do you guys say it? Let me know in the chat. A-Chain? Is that what? That's what I'm hearing everybody else say. But I think it should be, or I thought it was Devin Akine. I don't know. What is that? French? Devin Akine, Devin A-Chain, whatever you want to call him. I have now drafted him here at the 10.6. It goes perfectly with my Tua and my Tyreek Hill stack. Stack up these Miami Dolphins a little bit. And again, I can't say it enough about how I really love the running backs in this area. A-Chain, baby. A-Chain. All right, A-Chain. I don't know, man. It's A-Chain is what I've heard as well. So I guess that's what I'll just keep calling him. I'll keep calling him A-Chain. I called him Akine on another damn fantasy podcast, which you should check out on Wednesday nights at 8:15 right here on the Bite Size Sport Network. We'll be going so while we're waiting, housekeeping, we'll go every other week for ADP and for Rumbles of Red. So this week we do Rumbles of Red. Next week we do ADP on Wednesday nights. And then I'll do Rumbles of Red the next week on Friday nights. So we'll kind of just go off and on throughout the summertime. We got to get you caught up with our rankings next weekend on next week on Another Damn Fantasy Podcast. But anyways, a couple weeks ago, I called him Akine, and somebody came in the chat and was like, Thank you. You're the only one that said his name right. I'm like, sweet, I got it right. But I don't know. I think we're all wrong, Kev. I think we're all wrong. Some of these running backs start to go off the board here after I take Devin Achane, Rashad Penny, Kyler Murray, Dalton Schultz, Alexander Madison, Damian Harris now down there in Buffalo, Samaje Perine, Derek Carr goes at 11.1, and Khalil Herbert. What's the deal with Khalil Herbert? Why are we taking Alexander Madison before Khalil Herbert? Just assuming that Dalvin Cook's going to get moved? Is that what we're doing? T. Hockey, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and finish. Yeah, I think I'm going to. Oh, man. I'm going to go ahead and finish my tight ends and be done with it. I'm going to take Cole Kmet. Uh-oh. Oof. I'm going to take Cole Kmet here. I think Justin Fields really started to come on last year towards the end. Obviously, Justin Fields, fantasy-wise, we love him because he uses his feet so much. He's a rushing quarterback. But Cole Kmet, I think as my second tight end, spending a high draft capital on a guy like TJ Hawkinson with the expectation he's going to be my tight end week in and week out, I do think there are paths to a guy like Cole Kmet having some spike weeks, maybe catching 2 touchdowns here and there, finding himself a spot in my starting lineup. So I like Cole Kmet here. I thought about going Dalton Kincaid. The reason I go Cole Kmet over Kincaid, Kincaid's a rookie tight end. Tight ends usually take 3 years to really get in to the NFL and really start to understand and make an impact in the NFL. I'm not saying Dalton Kincaid can't make an immediate impact, but I'm gonna take the odds, I guess, with a Cole Kmet and a Chicago Bears offense that I think should be even better this year. They improved last year. They finally got Matt Nagy out of there before last year. I like what the Bears did last year. Yes, they sucked, right? Like, obviously we know that. But a guy like Cole Kmet over Dalton Kincaid is something I'll probably be doing most of the offseason. I like Dalton Kincaid. I love him for Dynasty. But we're talking 1 year. We're talking next year here. So give me some Cole Kmet over him. After I take Cole Kmet, Jacoby Myers, DJ Chark, Sky Moore, Tyler Boyd, and Jared Goff finishes off the 11th round. Lee goes Sam Laporta out of Detroit. Stacks up Jared Goff. He already has Jamison Williams there. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs. So he's got, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wow. I did not notice this, Lee. I know you're here in the chat. I know you're also focused on the draft, more focused than I am probably. This is interesting. I love, you're kind of just going all in on Jacksonville with Calvin Ridley, Trevor Lawrence, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, and you're going all in on Detroit. So just kind of taking 2 really solid offenses and buying in and seeing what happens. All right, I took Roschon Johnson. I need some more running backs here. We are starting to run out of a little bit. We're starting to run out of rounds. I thought about a Russell Wilson, just kind of be done with quarterback, but I didn't think he was absolutely necessary, whereas running back is pretty necessary. Anybody who has not played before, You are starting 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, which is why I go wide receiver heavy early and often, 1 tight end, and then 1 flex. So you could play up to 4 wide receivers. Usually you'll see me end up with around 5 to 6 running backs, 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks, normally 2 tight ends, and then just hammer home the wide receivers. I wasn't really impressed with some of those. Wow, I was not expecting Rashee Rice to go that quickly after. I did not expect any of those 3 rookies. Rashee Rice, Jonathan Mingo, Jordan Hyatt, Jalen Hyatt. I didn't expect any of those 3 to make it back, but I didn't expect them to go 1, 2, 3 like that quickly. So, anyways, I needed to get a little bit of running back action, and there wasn't a lot on the board. Let's see here. Wide receiver options right now. Dalton Kincaid is still there. I wonder if his ADP didn't just skyrocket. He just went there at 147. I wonder if his ADP didn't just skyrocketed because he got drafted to the Bills. And people have kind of like, wait a minute, let's pump the brakes a little bit here. Wide receivers available: KJ Osborne, Alec Pierce, DPJ, MVS in Kansas City. Wandale, I like him. Josh Downs, we kind of talked about him earlier. He's down there at 175. There's a chance or an idea behind. I've got Anthony Richardson. I could take Alec Pierce here and Josh Downs later and kind of just triple stack Anthony Richardson. That's a ton of stock to be putting in a rookie quarterback, though. I'm not really sure I like that too much. Who's here? Quarterback. My boy, Trey Lance, just fucking staring at me, man. Woo! I'm just going to take Alec Pierce here. I can't guarantee Josh Downs is going to fall to me later on, so go ahead and just double stack Anthony Richardson. Get the double stack here now. So I've double stacked Tua with A-Chain and Tyreek Hill. I've double stacked Richardson with Pittman and Alec Pierce. So, I think Alec Pierce will definitely get on the field still. And again, Josh Downs is still a rookie wide receiver, and we know how those things sometimes play out. So give me a guy like Alec Pierce. I'm going to have to definitely find some running backs here. And somebody, for the love of God, take Trey Lance so I don't. Please take him. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the year. Guys, let me tell you a story about a dynasty draft that this is how much, listen, I have a brand and I had to keep to it. I traded last year during a startup. The guy right in front of me takes Trey Lance. A super flex dynasty league. I was pissed. I didn't want Jalen Hurts. I wanted Trey Lance. So I traded him Jalen Hurts and a 23 first round pick. Well, now obviously Jalen Hurts is a top 3 super flex asset. And he is being drafted in the top 3 with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. And Trey Lance is not. Trey Lance is not an asset at all, really. And then the guy takes 104, which is my pick this year, puts it with his 106 and gets Justin Jefferson this year. So RIP to my team. It is not going well for me, and that was probably the worst fantasy football mistake I have ever made. It was bad. I traded Lamar Jackson the year before he became the MVP. That was bad. This was worse. This was absolutely worse. So yes, please, somebody take Trey Lance. Because the longer he sits there, the more I want him. The more I want him. CJ Stroud is also there. I'm probably not going to take 2 rookie quarterbacks. Actually, I know exactly who I'm going to take. Can I get him? Can I wait around? Let's see. Malvern Shaker. Are you in the chat? Are you watching me? Malvern Shaker. He's only got 1 quarterback. He might take him. Bryce Young, Kyler Murray, Joe. Okay, Taki shouldn't take him. JCC maybe. Juice. All right, there's enough guys here. I think I'm going to go ahead and stack up. Let me check running back. All right, plenty of guys like. I'm going to go ahead and get Jimmy Garoppolo here. I've got Devontae Adams. I need a 3rd quarterback. I can't go into the season with 2 quarterbacks with Anthony Richardson being one of the quarterbacks. So I'm going to take Jimmy Garoppolo here. Maybe just him and Devontae kind of have a couple boom games this year, hit my lineup. So I don't mind that. 3 quarterbacks here. I'm not taking 3 tight ends because I've got Hawkinson and Cole Kmet. So a 3 quarterback build is completely fine. I like that. I did a lot of research last year, in fact, and 3 quarterback builds were kind of the way to go going into last year. I have not seen the stats from last year. But a guy like Jimmy is going to be able to put up some fantasy numbers here and there. Not necessarily somebody I'm going to be interested in. He'd be like a streaming quarterback, right, in a season long. So this way I don't have to stream him. I'll just get it whenever he hits big. I was looking at everybody else's quarterbacks because I was worried about getting sniped by anyone. And there was a couple guys who had not had a 2nd quarterback. Juice, T Hockey. These guys didn't have other quarterbacks. So JCC had 2. I see not T Hockey, Malvern Shaker. He goes with CJ Stroud right after me, so that makes sense. But I just wasn't sure. I didn't want to risk it. Oh, Deuce Vaughn going at 164. My oldest loves Deuce Vaughn. Has a Deuce Vaughn jersey, and he was not happy that Deuce got drafted to the Cowboys. He wanted him to go to our beloved Chiefs, but he's not happy. Tyler, what do you think about Deuce? Deuce in Dallas, man. You're our resident Cowboys fan. What do you think? Zeke going to go back to Dallas? Oh, yeah. Give me some of these running backs. Look at this. 3 rookie running backs? Nothing wrong with that. Go Hunter Renfrow. Just double up Jimmy. I'm going to take Chase Brown. He's got a path to playing time, right? Joe Mixon's got this off the field stuff going on. Chase Brown has a path to playing time, and I like it. I like it. All right, we're in round 15 here. 3 rounds to go. Let me check back in here on Lee's team. Lee's got Mahomes, Lawrence, and Jared Goff. He stacks Mahomes with MVS. He stacks Lawrence with Calvin Ridley, Zay Jones, and Evan Ingram. I love that. Love that indeed. And he stacks Jared Goff with Jahmyr Gibbs. Come on now. This is a miss by Underdog, by the way. We got to get this fixed. Stop making it go back to mine. Jared Goff with Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams after 6 games, of course, and Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end. He's got Donovan Peoples-Jones, George Pickens in there, and Zach Charbonnet. So no running backs. You're gonna have to find the running backs here at the end of the draft, I guess. So definitely short on some running backs there. But man, I love just taking those shots on those offenses. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with taking shots on some back. Maybe not so, the teams aren't great. I think Detroit could definitely win the AFC North or NFC North this year. And the Jags won the AFC South last year. So, and those defenses in the South are pretty bad. So don't mind that at all. That's a fun team. That's a really fun team. That is all right. So he goes. Kenneth Gainwell, like that. Can't believe he kept falling, but I told you earlier I want to take shots on some of these Philadelphia teams. Or Philadelphia running backs. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. And then Mecole Hardman with the New York Football Jets. We're still on that train. We're still drafting Mecole Hardman. Man, he's trash. I'm so happy he's not a Chief anymore. There goes Trey Lance, my boy. Brock Purdy's still on the board too. Are we worried about him? The only reason I would be drafting Trey Lance right now is just in the hope and a dream that he's going to be traded. I think Brock Purdy is going to be the guy in San Francisco. And I love Trey Lance. I guess I'll keep taking stabs at these rookie running backs. Oh, dang it. Tajay Spears is the one I wanted, just with the off chance that King Henry gets traded away. Let's see. What do we got in wide receivers first? Mims, Reed. All right. I am going to take Zach Evans. I know his ADP is way down there, and I'm kind of reaching for it, but we're in round 16, so I don't really care about ADP anymore. Zach Evans, Los Angeles Rams. Look, the Rams tried to get rid of Cam Akers last year, and now all of a sudden everything's great. Do you trust that? I don't trust that. And so maybe Cam Akers sucks. Maybe the Rams don't like him, and Zach Evans comes in and gets a chance. The Rams already had a backup running back last year who didn't really do anything, never really got on the field. It's early in the offseason. I'll take chances on some of these rookie running backs like this. I've got 4 of them. 4 rookie running backs? Oh, man, we got rookie fever around here at the Rumbles of Red. Woo-wee. We'll take our experienced veteran wide receivers and tight ends, and we'll take the rookie quarterbacks and running backs. Is that right? That's what we're doing here, right? Ooh-wee. What about Zeke? Where's Zeke going to go? Is he going to be playing this year? Let me know in the chat your best guess. Where does Ezekiel Elliott land? Does he go back to the Dallas? Would you like to see him in Kansas City? And the reason I ask is because Kansas City seems to never be able to get it in from the 1 and 2 yard lines. A guy like Zeke could help with that. Maybe he goes somewhere else. Where do you think he's going to go? Let me know. If you're here with me tonight, I appreciate it. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Bite Size Sports on YouTube. And let me know about Zeke. Where do you think he lands? Tell me in the chat. Does he go back to the Cowboys? That's where I think he probably goes. I think he'd probably just come back on a team-friendly contract just to do it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, how about in 4 picks? Pick 199. I'm done at quarterback. Tua, Anthony Richardson, Jimmy Garoppolo. And really, I could be done at running back. I could be done at wide receiver. Like I'm fine with both of them. I'm definitely done at tight end. So I'm just gonna try to play it out here. The last couple rounds, I also like to mix and match, mix it up a little bit, find guys that maybe will hit a ceiling that nobody's really talking about right now. Those kind of things. So I'm just gonna kind of scroll through here and see what I can find. Well, I hate this. I'm going to take Chuba. There in Carolina. Get myself a non-rookie running back, not named Ramondre Stevenson. Oh, man. It's never good when the first 7 guys you see, 5 of them don't have – first 8 guys I see, 5 of them don't have a picture on Underdog yet. What am I doing? I loved A-Chain. That's why I took him. But then to take 4 more rookie running backs, you can tell this is my first draft of the year. You can tell it's my first one. All right, pick 18. This is where we got to go. Look at this, guys. Anything that's got no ADP, come on now. You're going to tell me none of these guys down here are going to have a statement to make this year? Let's go deep into the bowels of the ADP. What can we find? We're looking for gold. Do you have a favorite deep guy? Samori Tori. Man, he hit on a God. I remember there was an island game, and I think I got second place in DFS. And the guy who got first had Torre, and he caught a touchdown pass. I'm like, who even picks this guy, and why did you pick him? Why did you even pick him? Of course, he was the reason I couldn't take it down. I got second place instead. Kine Nwangwu. I can't ever say it. What if he takes over for Madison if Dalvin Cook leaves? It's not a terrible idea, right? Let's scroll back up here to guys that other people like. Grant DuBose. Green Bay picked a lot of pass catchers. Not in the first round, of course not there. But they take a lot of pass catchers, so I don't mind that. Not necessarily something I want to reach for. Kenny McIntosh to Seattle in the 7th round? Like, what are they doing? Why are they taking so many running backs? All right, we're up. Oh, brother. Visca. I loved Visca coming out of college, man. Absolutely loved him. Trey Tucker. Ooh. Fast fingers to end it. Trey Tucker. He fits the bill. I almost took Justin Shorter. Shorter's huge. He's not shorter. Actually, our resident Bills guy, Nick Winograd on Necessary Roughness Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central. Go check them out. Look, Nick and John and Michael, they are very sharp. Very sharp. They will talk about guys I've never even heard of. I'm a fantasy football guy. I only care about the running backs and the quarterbacks and the wide receivers and tight ends, man. These guys are talking about offensive guards and, the second string centers and the defensive tackles that you never heard. I'm like, what are you guys? Sharp minds. Go check them out every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. But anyways, Nick was talking about Shorter last week and how he thought that he could contribute there in Buffalo. So obviously Dalton Kincaid there. I think him and Shorter. Gabe Davis never really panned out. So I could see a guy like Shorter potentially getting a chance. So that's why I had him teed up. But then I saw one Trey Tucker for the Las Vegas Raiders. Right? Why not? Hunter Renfrow is getting older. They got rid of Darren Waller. Somebody's going to have to catch passes from Jimmy Garoppolo, not named Devontae Adams. So I took Trey Tucker. Let's go and take a look. I'll give you my team real quick. And then, Lee, I want to talk about your team as well. He says my next draft, I will pick Ravens. So you're are you kind of picking already as you go into the draft, like, I'm taking this team? Is that what you're doing? Or are you kind of letting it go, letting the draft fall to you, and then like saying, okay, I'm going to load up on this team? Like, when are you choosing the team that you're loading up on? Because I like that you loaded up on the teams. I liked that approach a lot. But when are you making that decision? Are you making the decision during the draft or before the draft? Yes. Which one? Before the draft or during the draft? My team is Tua, Anthony Richardson, and Jimmy Garoppolo at the quarterback position. I anchor RB with Ramondre Stevenson in the 3rd round. Devin A-Chain, Roshan Johnson, Chase Brown, and Zach Evans, and Chuba Hubbard. That is a lot of trash at the running back position. Hopefully, one of them can hit. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk, Jahan Dotson, Alec Pierce, and Trey Tucker at the wide receiver position. I love those wide receivers, and I love my 2 tight ends in TJ Hawkinson and Cole Kmet. So Lee says before I draft, he is choosing the teams he wants to chase. It's hard for me though, right? Because you say here, Bengals and Eagles. Bengals and Eagles. Like what if you can't get Jalen Hurts? Do you just overdraft him? So where did Jalen Hurts go today? Jalen Hurts goes at the 17th pick, 205. But what if you're 104, 105? You're probably I'm taking the Eagles. So you're probably taking AJ Brown at 104, 105. But what if Jalen Hurts doesn't make it back? Do you pivot? I mean, honestly, I'm like truly wondering, like, do you pivot then? And you're like, well, crap, I'll pick my next team. Because I definitely go in on teams, right? I went in on I didn't go heavy like you did. I would definitely go heavy on the Lions like you did. I didn't today, but I don't hate it. I mean, he goes Jacksonville and Detroit. Jacksonville, he has 1. He goes Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, Zay Jones, and Jacksonville, or Evan Ingram. So he takes 4 Jaguars. And Detroit, he takes Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta. So he takes 4 Detroit guys. So I like that play. You're getting 4 guys from one team, from 2 different teams. I love that a lot. I'm just curious to understand, if you say I'm going to take the Eagles, but you get the 105, you take A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts doesn't fall to you. Do you continue loading up on the Eagles, or do you just say, nope, I got to go a different route? Because I believe my advice would be to let the draft board kind of come to you, at least for the first 5-6 rounds. Right? I take Tyreek Hill over A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp. Okay, I chose Tyreek today. Whatever. Other days I'll take A.J. Brown and Cooper Kupp. I take Devontae Adams instead of having Waddle double stacked because I wanted. I mean, Devontae Adams fell to me. Why would I not take Devontae? Stevenson, Hawkinson, Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk. Those are my first 6 picks. None of them stacked up together at all, right? But then I start chasing and stacking a little bit. Getting Tua with Tyreek. Getting Richardson with Pittman. right? Then coming back with A-Chain to go ahead and keep that Miami build going. Coming back with Alec Pierce in the 13th round. Getting Jimmy in 14 to pair with my second round pick. So my first 5 to 6 rounds, I'm kind of letting that draft board come to me. And then after that, that's when I start to puzzle piece it all back together. That's how I do every time I draft. That's the way I kind of go about it. And over time, right? Over time, I'm gonna say, look, I've been taking a shit ton of Tyreek Hill in the 107, 108 range. I need to take somebody else, and I can start to balance that out, so you can still take other players while letting the draft come to you. Right? I think Ramondre Stevenson's going to move up still. So if I can continue to take him in this range in the third round, when he moves up to the back end of the second round with the Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard and company, I don't need to take him anymore because I've got so much of him in the third round. When Breece Hall starts moving from the back end of the second round to the front end of the second round, if I've drafted a lot of Breece Hall, maybe I don't draft him in the front end of the second round. So those are just things that I'm thinking of as we go through this summertime. There'll be plenty of opportunities here for me to draft different guys and talk through different strategies. But my strategy today to you is let the first 5 or 6 rounds kind of fall to you and see where you go from there. I pick 3 from each team before draft and kind of make quick decisions when I find out my pick. Okay. That makes sense. So you're kind of playing the ADP game from the beginning. Like, I'm going to take the Chiefs or the Lions, right? And if I'm going to be the first top 5 pick, maybe I take Kelsey. But if I'm going to be the back end of the first round, I'm not going to get Kelsey. I'm going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown. Makes sense. I don't mind that. Kind of just setting that a little bit early. I like that a lot. Well, tonight, it's just going to be one draft. I appreciate this. This has been a lot of fun. I am so happy to be back, y'all. This is going to be a best ball summer. Once again, I will put it in the chat one more time. If you have not joined Underdog and you would like to join Underdog and play and draft with me next time we are on stream, go ahead and hit that link and go and get signed up. $100 deposit bonus. They will match you. You can deposit $5 and get a free $5. You can deposit $100 and get a free $100. Whatever it is, you use that link or use promo code Trevor Steinbacher, all one word, and you will get a $100 deposit match bonus from Underdog. And then you will be able to join me next time on my next best ball draft. Hopefully it's another puppy draft. You know I'm going to be trying to hit this as many times as possible. It doesn't fill near as fast in May and June. In August, a puppy draft will fill in a day or two. But for right now, this draft or this puppy should stay open and available. Maybe I'll hit another one before 2 weeks from now just because I want to be on here with all of you and drafting. So make sure you go ahead and hit that. If you're with us, please subscribe to, I don't know why I had that up the whole. Subscribe to Bite Size Sports. Subscribe to Bite Size Sports on YouTube. We're so close to 500 subscribers. And one last thing I'll tell you, if you are here tonight and you're wanting to keep watching some Bite Size entertainment, our boys over there, John, Kev, and James, are talking Star Wars. So May the 4th be with you. We know it's Cinco de Drinko today, but yesterday was May 4th. So go check them out. I'm going to put the link here in the chat as well. Go ahead and go over to their YouTube channel. Hit them up. Tell them I sent you. Go in there, blast their chat. Whatever you got to do, tell them that Trevor sent you over there. Have a little fun with it. They're over there talking about Star Wars. So please go check them out as I am going to get out of here tonight. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for subscribing to Bite Size Sports. Until next time, a best ball summer. Peace out.